Hey, 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 how's it going? Wait, actually, hold on. Couldn't find the fucking chat doc. But how's everybody doing? Yeah, sorry, I sound awkward. This week's been very, what's the word? Very hectic. Like, it's been a bit of a mess, but we try to get through today. So, some updates since I've been gone, which was what, last week? Is that I recently announced a major event that will be coming in 2 months. For those of y'all who are unaware, I recently announced the VMAT Gala. I'll actually show it in browser. Hold on. Ta-da! So, what we are doing, or what I am doing in collaboration with VTuber Simium Nigma, who I will be shouting out. Give me a minute. With Simi Enigma and Cinnabellix, is that we are going to be hosting this year's VMet Gala. For those who don't know, last year, what the hell is going on with chat? I'm gonna have to fix this overlay at some point. At some point, we're just gonna pray. Let me just turn off the. Is it the mix it up overlay? Yeah, it's the mix it up overlay. We love Scuff, but last year I ended up doing the VMAT Gala by myself at first because Senna she had a medical thing going on, and then with later in the month I ended up doing it again with Simi and stuff. So now it's the three of us working together. Let me shout out Senna. Damn it, I gotta wait 54 seconds. Okay. Okay, I guess. But we're gonna be doing it on May the 6th at 6 p.m. CST, 7 p.m. EST, and I'll just send. Actually, I'll send the frequently asked questions thread because that was recently posted this morning. So if anybody wants to like know all of the important information and stuff to participate, just feel free to open this thread right here. But that's pretty much the announcement and stuff dealing with it. But to get onto what we're doing, I'm going to be working on a commission today because that's due next week. We're going to be responsible. We're going to be responsible. And that's pretty much it. First, we're going to do a warm up though. So let's switch over to the art overlay. Actually, let's fix this overlay real quick because it's bothering me. Hmm. I don't know why this one is weird. I want to live. Because this one is weird. So why is it one way and another way and the other way. Or maybe it's the positioning. Mm. Yeah, I'll fix it later. It doesn't matter. I'll just turn it off for now. But ooh, I don't know why this is being weird. We're gonna start with a warm up. So new. One thing that I considered doing. Hmm. You should make a reaction meme as the warm up. I'm gathering references. I really have a bad habit of not gathering references before stream. Or if I do, then it's still something that I end up forgetting to gather. Okay. And then I just need. Now I just need the character sheet. Okay. One thing that I'm trying to do is get in the habit of doing a warm up because that helps, loosen the muscles and actually get into drawing instead of going into drawing raw. Okay. Let's see. Maybe I should change the dimensions. Edit. Change canvas size. This is. Damn it. What are the dimensions for a full screen? 920 by 1080. Do that times 2 because I want the picture to be bigger than that. We love math. Three, 8, 4, 0. And then 1080 times 2, 2160. Okay. Sketch one. Actually, I should probably sketch out the background. I like how I'm saying that this is a warm up. Warm ups are supposed to be easy, but I don't know. I'm feeling ambitious. Ooh. If y'all hear my knuckles cracking and stuff, I'm sorry for the ASMR. Mm-mm. No, let's see. What else did I want to talk about? Because really, I didn't have much to report. Seat. I didn't really have anything else to report aside from the event that's coming up. Any other things that I consider important? I'm just gonna keep the background the same, cause who cares, right? Side window. But no, what was I thinking? Um, Aside from that, I may be updating my graphics. Don't ask how soon that's gonna be because that will be an ongoing process. And I got work in school. And by updated graphics, I mean like I want to do more outfit changes and get myself some more art in general. Back window. Actually, I like this song. Let me like it. I might edit my overlays a bit. Because, like, part of the reason why I was talking about the outfit changes or why I mentioned it is that I saw, like, the starting screen idea where, oh, I just realized I could finally give a shout out to Senna. I wish that when you gave shout outs, especially for people that you were following, that it'll just, you know how when you type the at. As you start typing that person's name, it just automatically like starts pushing it. I don't know. It would be nice. Maybe the seatbelt in the back. Okay, I'm trying to think. Like it would just make life more convenient. Okay, I did the background and then sketch one. See body. Toledo has a more round face, and I don't think that's because of the art style. Like he might simply have a baby face. I don't know what he looks like. I don't go here. But no, part of the reason why I ended up choosing this as like a warm up is because I had this idea for a long time. One of the things about being a busy person with so many obligations while still being creative, right, is that it could be a fucking curse because you could have so many ideas but not have any actual fucking time to get to them. Don't you love it? Like it could be a pain in the ass sometimes. Um, because it's just like, oh, I want to be able to do this, and it doesn't help that I draw slow. Let's see, eyes. Ugh. Yeah. Let's see. Oh, hey Artemis. I turned off the overlay. Thank you for the head pat. I turned off the overlay because there's been some weird stuff and I gotta see what the hell is going on with that. But thank you for the head pat. How's it going? I'm doing. I really should not be calling this a warm up. I'm like, oh, this is gonna be something quick and fun to do, and I'm gonna try to make it something quick and fun to do. But you're just working. Oh, nice. Like you know that one meme of Caleb City that Toledo keeps posting. Something that I was confused at. Well, not confused, but it's just like, why hasn't anybody like tried drawing a version of that? Because I remember how I used to make reaction memes, or at least I made a couple of reaction memes of myself. So we'll see how this goes. I just gotta remember how to draw eyes again. I'm trying to think of how to draw Toledo's eyes. But pretty much, what am I doing? I'm doing. I'm gonna try to do reaction meme art. It'll be useful for when the next corpo drops. Yeah. Plus, I should probably make some of Mocha. Cause have you seen how, like me? Well, I don't use it, but like Ambi, I think Pharaoh, and maybe Senju all use reaction memes. My biggest struggle when it comes to drawing characters sometimes is converting one art style to mine. Because sometimes whenever I draw fan art, I end up incorporating that person's style into my work. Yeah, because some people would use pictures of Mocha, because it's like a running gag in the VC of using Mocha's actual face as like reaction. Because she's so iconic. So maybe I should like convert some of them to actually look like her model. But no, I need to actually like my thing is I made these reaction memes and I literally have like a folder of memes to use as reactions cuz one I know that I could come across as like really dry and some of these memes it helps better like communicate my feelings whenever I say something only to not fucking use it. Like the only one that I've been using consistently is the Tyler the Creator everyone boo this nigga video. Because I like being degrading. Some people are ridiculous, and I think they should know. It's like, oh, brother, this guy. Actually, I'm probably going to start using that more. I just need to start using it for reasons that aren't just degrading. Let's see. He's so good for that kind of reaction. Yeah! Because sometimes you gotta let somebody know that they're a piece of garbage and they really need to shut the hell up. I think what was the origin of that? Was somebody like reading a book in the middle of the concert? And it's just like, why the hell are you reading? Or no, I think somebody threw something at him. Whatever it was probably warranted. Yeah, it was. It was something. Let's see. Speaking of recent music things, I'm so proud of Dochi. Because I'm thinking about how I think this is her first year participating in Fashion Week. People have been getting crazy at concerts in recent years with throwing shit at artists and fighting. Yeah, well, I will say that fighting isn't a new thing. I wouldn't put all my chips on her because that needs to be a collective effort. But I do think that she does show a difference in approach to the craft. And I am hoping for her success because I've been following her since Spooky Coochie. Because let's see, what was she? She made an appearance at the what was it? The Schiaparelli Fashion Week. Yeah, today is Schiaparelli Day. What does Toledo's eyebrows look like? Now, one thing I will say though, she should not have had no shoes on, no shoes off, walking on that Parisian street. I don't care if they power washed that shit before she came over. Like the French, not to be xenophobic or anything, but some of y'all be nasty. I think about that one video of like a pack of rats just out in the Parisian street. And then the last time Fashion Week happened in Paris, remember the fucking bed bugs and shit, and nobody said anything. Like nobody gave any updates and stuff. Not to mention, I come from Arkansas, right? So there's like a history, like a historical event. Like it's important to have some damn shoes on, anyways. But it was like doubly so in Arkansas because it's doubly so in Arkansas because like there was like this whole issue in the Delta areas where folks were getting like these worm parasites through their feet because they were like micro and they were like, not to be graphic or anything, but it was just parasite issues, right? And they had to like do initiatives. They had to do initiatives to not only drain some of the areas because like part of Arkansas is swamp, and then other stuff was having more shoes and stuff because like that was even affecting what was it, that was affecting education because these parasites, they were like the brainworm kinds. Well, no, they weren't the brainworm kinds. They sort of function like tapeworms where they take a lot of nutrients and shit. And you know, it's hard to concentrate in class when you're dealing with starvation and malnutrition. So it was just a mess. And like my mom, when she was in high school, she had to like do a paper on it. Like it was wild. This is why whenever I talk about education, right, it's more than just like teaching and stuff. It's a hierarchy of needs thing. Being able to learn and retain information that's like higher on the pyramid, and it's hard to learn when you don't have basic needs met, and that's a major public health issue. And of course, there was like some pushback at first because I guess the way that things were worded and whatnot, it was just like, oh, you're calling us folks in the Delta uneducated and unclean. And it's just like, no. And I get it, right? Because like Delta, even though it's heavy with agriculture and stuff, it's um people like to look down on rural areas, and it's just as important to be kind when talking about problems in the area, not just to be correct. Because some people forget that, especially in areas where it could be like a source of shame of not having it all together. I drew the hand wrong. Let me turn up the opacity. That'll help. Because I'm like, I can't see shit. Let me look at the video. It doesn't help that this nigga be posting the blurry version. Okay, so I did draw it right. It's just the wrist from that perspective is weird. I was like, did I draw this shit backwards? Taxi man. Actually, let me draw the clothes before I do the second part. And then after I do the sketch, I'll be working on something else. Because this is. Yeah, I should probably do Toledo's actual outfit. Okay, now let me draw shoulders. I've been debating on whether or not to talk live on stream about my thoughts on trash taste. I feel like you can. Like, once got into an argument with someone about criticizing somebody's content and stuff, but it's also like, with me, I can like things and be critical at the same time. And another thing is, um, when it comes to professionals, people who are making money from their content, I think it's even necessary to be critical because you are making a product, which is your entertainment. Yeah, part of it is greed, is being part of it is cowardice. There's like a lot of things. What I feel about the trash tastings, especially when it comes to Connor in particular, because he was considered the best out of the three. Because the anime man, like other people's opinion, it just feels like I could talk ad nauseum, but what does that do? Well, I guess it's just venting. Like, it's getting those emotions out. And not to mention, I feel like talking about these things, um, I think more and more often people are starting to realize how unsustainable it is to be apolitical in entertainment, specifically in streaming, because, like, I don't know. always weirded me out that people always expected apoliticality from streaming when no other piece of media is really held to that standard. Like, yeah, there are some dude bros that'll shit on it in a video game or in a movie and stuff, but we know that politics have always existed in mediums like movies and books and comics and stuff. And a lot of people think that streaming is like the exception to the rule. Crash like that, like literally saw him live saying that shit was a lot. Yeah, because like, okay, I haven't followed Connor in eons. I knew him when, yeah, when he first started as a VA. I knew him when he was like doing the Sebastian answers questions sort of thing, or the Sebastian prank calls. Like I've never felt that level of dread watching a creator I liked before. Um, yeah, because like sometimes I see subtle signs and shit with a creator that I like, and then I dip only to have shit be confirmed, and I'm like, see. And like I have toxic detachment issues. This isn't to say that I like already saw it with what's that nigga's name? Connor. It's more like I didn't like the anime man as a person, and they were like still friends. So I was just like, because there are like some things that I really dislike about Joey. Because I find him to be a very gross person, and I'm just like, I'm gonna leave before something escalates. And he and the others have prioritized living in Japan over everything else, because ultimately Kadokawa is footing their visas. Yeah, but like what bothers me the most, right? Like part of it is like wanting to maintain their status and stuff, and I know that Japanese entertainment standards may be even more strict about having a separation and stuff, because like something that I noticed when it comes to say American idol culture versus East Asian idol culture, because it's not just Japan, right? um American idol culture no longer relies on being a fantasy to project onto. It's no longer a I want to be like this person. It's more like the other way around. They have to be relatable. They have to be like us. Whereas East Asian idol culture, because they are supposed to be a blank slate to project over, that's why they may have a thing against idols having opinions or dating and stuff. And I'm guessing that Trash Taste is like adhering to a similar standard, even though their whole thing is about talking shit about media. But I guess whenever you revolve yourself around the media you consume without like any, and it's just whether or not it's like peak or mid or something, that's like a nothing burger ass opinion. It's not an actual like philosophy or an ideal that could really rock the boat aside from just personal taste. But that's like my guess. I'm gonna use a 3D model because this arm looks wrong and I don't know how to fix it. When in Rome, we cheat. But yeah, he said a lot of shit in his statement about how they want to remain apolitical, but anime is a medium of entertainment and art is political at times. Art is inherently political. Like, okay, there's this one term that says all art is political, right? And that is in reference to how that political, even though it may not have political messaging, um, although it may not have inherent political messaging, art doesn't exist in a vacuum and therefore will be influenced by the politics that it was formed within. Whether it's the politics of the author itself, what the hell, or of just the material conditions and stuff. Because like we talk about Hayao Miyazaki and stuff, and how he, even in the less overtly political stuff, like say, My Neighbor Totoro, he was like basing it off of his experiences with childhood. Yeah, because politics dictate practically everything you think and have access to. Even the kinds of pencils you have political Yeah, literally. And like, there's something very sinister, or at least it's something very ignorant and shitty about inviting a political commentator to to your stream and then being confused that politics ends up being involved when that's literally his thing. Now, what the fuck do you think was gonna happen? And the situation kind of pisses me off because I don't even like Hassan. I feel like in some ways he could be overrated, and he also has. We There really needs to be a conversation about the misogyny problem when it comes to these male leftist icons and stuff, because it's a similar issue with Destiny and Vouch. Because like I remember when Hassan was one of the people who was doing reaction shit to the Amber Heard case. Like he was one of the people who was making reactions and stuff to the Amber Heard case. And I'm like inherently against that because it's treating a fucking trial as a form of entertainment. And that's been like, that's had terrible, that's resulted in terrible experiences for victims because it's treating something that should be treated with, with emotional sensitivity as entertainment and stuff. And there's been some other cases with him. Like, we really need to talk about how these quote unquote leftist male streamers and shit. And I say quote unquote leftist because, like, a lot of them aren't necessarily leftists. They're more like men who are mad that them being men didn't save them from being poor, because like that's a huge problem when it comes to stuff like breadtube and streamer tubes and stuff, because they still have very much right-wing tendencies. They're just very quote unquote pro worker. They're pro worker sentiment because they know that keeps them from experiencing poverty or suffering more poverty than they have, but a lot of them really do not care about oppression of other types of marginalizations. Yeah, I was literally about to say this exact thing. Oh my god, like word for word. Needs to be handled with tact and empathy. Hey Peach. We're talking about the trash tasting. But yeah, my thing with Connor in particular is that it's disappointing, but considering the people that he keeps company with, I'm not entirely surprised. But it's also like very insidious given that he's done charity streams to advocate for like for better conditions for disabled people, especially because he's affiliated with Iron Mouse. And then you kind of start to question if he was any, and that is political, right? That's disability justice. And it kind of makes you wonder if he was really genuine with that, or maybe he was genuine, but he's also willing to throw something away. He didn't want to, but he's also willing to throw certain things away if he knows that that'll maintain certain stuff. Yeah, sick of like lukewarm left wing content creators who don't want to jeopardize their proof. I said that some of these creators are very controversial. Like they definitely are pushing the envelope with certain things. Because I mentioned Vouch and Destiny. Now Destiny is on some right wing bullshit, but to be honest, I consider him to always be on some right wing bullshit. They are very outspoken when it comes to stuff like workers' rights and stuff because they care about the poverty aspect, but they literally do not care about any other form of justice and stuff. Like these are white dudes who are simply upset that being white couldn't save them from being poor. With Hassan, it's a bit different because he is well off and he has talked about that. But it's like, this isn't to say that you can't advocate for these things while also not having a stake. But it's also like his refusal to listen to other experiences, particularly those of black women and just women in general, is just really nasty. I'm curious about your mouse angle because I hadn't thought of how she factors into this. The reason why I said what I said was mainly in response to what Ambi said about how he has been open in support of disability justice, and I don't know if that was before Iron Mouse. Like I remember him making some Sebastian phone calls for some folks dealing with sickness and stuff, and those are acts of kindness. Yeah, she doesn't get into things either. Cause let's talk about how Iron Mouse, how she's pale, even though that's not even her actual skin tone. She's has had models that actually matches her skin tone where it's more tan, but she had to take them off because a bunch of people were dissatisfied with that. My problem with some of those content creators is they're mainly in it for the sport and love of debate, not for actually advocating and believing in those values. Too many times I see these men talk over. Yep, exactly. Like I literally had to cut off uh, a trans friend when it came to the conversation about Vouch and his frequency to talk over trans women. She is a white Latina, but like you could be white and still have a tan, right? Because a lot of Mediterranean people are still white. They're just they're just spicy white. Like you don't have to be pale to be white. Like there's still a slider scale. Says something about the tan thing, and apparently she is very pale because of her living condition. Yeah, but even with like less light exposure, um, she has negative melanin. Okay, then what about the other skins that she had? Because they were like, because she has had some tanner ones, and I thought that was the more accurate ones, and then she just switched to the pale model because that's more, um, I guess, well recepted. Because it's not like they were like a dark mode or anything. Because I hate it when people be doing that. Oh, this is my dark mode, and then it's just dark skin. It was just, it's a mix of different reasons. Okay. Then I'll correct what I said. My model matches my skin tone. I'm pretty pale since I don't go out much. Yeah. Let's see. Let me just match the model. Okay. So So I'm gonna make life easier on me by copying and pasting. But no, the reason why I brought up this, because then it becomes more of a spectacle. This is exactly why I have a no debate thing on my stream, because my thing is stream is like the worst way to do debate because you need to have a moderator and stuff. And another thing about debate is that it's not about going into the debate. Debates were originally supposed to be about an exploration of ideas. You go into a debate with the idea to learn more about yourself and more about other ideas, not with the intention of like dunking on someone. And it gets me how these so-called leftists think that you can actually beat stuff like fascism and shit with debate, when there have been thinkers that have long since said that you cannot out debate a fascist, or how it's a waste of fucking time because their whole point is to get a platform to spread their ideas, not to actually engage with you genuinely. Like, I do not debate with people. Now, sometimes I do have to remind myself because, like, think about Twitter. Twitter is a hellhole, and it incentivizes anger and stuff. And sometimes, and because I have like a background as an educator, I have to like fight that urge to engage with someone genuinely and actually treat them like somebody who doesn't know what they're doing, when it's just like, no, these bigots know what they're doing. Like, they're literally just wasting your time. It's why I say what I say about like arguing with racists and stuff. And like, I'm starting to like wean on what I talk shit about online because I don't want to sound like a broken record. But yeah, low key, based off how I've heard Mouse talk, I think she'd be on his side, which doesn't detract from him potentially capitalizing off her marginalization to gain popularity, but might inform why he talked like that while being in solidarity with a disabled person. No, I get that. Because I'm not gonna sit here and act like Mousy is like outspoken on social issues either. Partially because she's corpro, and partially because of some of the things that she's had to partially because she's corpo, partially because she depends on streaming as a source of income herself, and partially because of the standards of VTubing. However, I think that there's like some cognitive dissonance going on. Or a lack of care in because like people say that they don't want politics, right? And I feel like it's long since been proven that when people say they don't like politics, hey Dee, I think it's time. You see what I'm drawing right now? Because I'm like, I think you talking about the picture or the conversation? I'm semi sorry for both. I'm like, how many changes can I make? The pic, because like I'm surprised that nobody thought of doing it yet. I accidentally put the brows on the same damn layer as the mouth and nobody told me. And like I have done meme reaction redraws before. I did it of myself even though I don't fucking use them. Because remember the one that I made of Dr. Manhattan? I don't even like the Watchmen. Like the Watchmen is an iconic piece of media. I just kind of don't care because of like the fridging and shit. And also, like, the premise wasn't really something that I was ever interested in. But I do like the Dr. Manhattan memes because I too am tired of this earth and its people and being caught in the tangle of their lives. I be liking the Bobby Hill looking one. I might shorten the jaw a bit. But what were we talking about again? Oh yeah, capitalism, but also like treating your friends as exceptions to the rules when it comes to when it comes to certain things and how like that's kind of bad friendship in the long run. What the fuck I labeled them as eyes? Their brows. Maybe I should tilt it a bit. It's kind of hard to see behind Caleb's fucking glasses. Oh my god. Accidentally. Because, like, I guess, what do you say to that? Because Mousy has, like, multiple forms of marginalization, and the people that Connor is, like, bowing down to are the very people who would shit on her. Although, Mousy is in a sort of situation because, like, yeah, she's Latina, but Latina isn't a race, so you could be Latina and still be considered as acceptable in white society. And even though she's disabled, she's not, like, visibly disabled. And that gives advantages in of itself. Like, yeah, she's a marginalized person, but she's more on the, what's the word, she's the more palatable kind, right? Because yeah, being in Puerto Rico is a form of marginalization in of itself because the U.S. treats Puerto Rico like shit. Like, I think about fucking we don't get on to Lin Manuel Miranda enough because he's partially the reason why they can't keep the lights on. Like, he used his influence with Hamilton to, like, advocate for the privatization of electric grids over there, and that's why there's, like, outages all the fucking time. Like, he cannot go home. They do not like his ass, and it's justified. Like, they do not like his. For my sister-in-law here's the. I'm sorry. I did not want to cause any family trouble. Oh, speaking of Lin Manuel Miranda, though, let's talk about how Disney is going to shit. Like, it's been going to shit for a long ass time. I feel like when we started normalizing, I feel like we lost the battle as soon as we were faced with the success of the 101 Dalmatians movie. because like I'm fairly certain that was like the first live action adaptation of an animated film that Disney had, and it was good. And then that just gave them the confidence to keep doing it. I semi dropped Disney because they still have bangers, and like I follow some people who work. No, it was not Aladdin. It started way before that. So if anybody remembers Glenn Close, who played as Cruella, that was like I'm fairly certain that was the first live action adaptation of an animated movie. Then they had then there was like a long break with that because they don't do that often, right? It's like once in a blue moon. It was once in a blue moon, and then now it's just every other year with this bullshit. Later it was Maleficent. Then it was Tim Burton's Alice in Wonderland, and all of those were good. And then what happened after that? Give me a minute. We're gonna go on browser and look this shit up. What is it? Do it by year. Oh, they did a Jungle Book first. So there was another one. Okay. So there was a live action Jungle Book before that. Then 101 Dalmatians. Then 102. Then Alice in Wonderland. Then The Sorcerer's Apprentice. Oh. Wait, that was supposed to be a remake of Fantasia? Huh. I like The Sorcerer's Apprentice. Then Maleficent. Then Cinderella. Then The Jungle Book. Then Alice Through the Looking Glass. I think it kind of started going to shit with Cinderella. It started to go to shit with Cinderella. The visuals were great. Yeah, you're probably reading it wrong. The visuals were great, but here's what I didn't like about the Cinderella movie. You know that scene where the prince is doing the shoe fitting and stuff, and the stepmother locked her in the fucking room and whatnot? They completely changed that scene to make it where Cinderella is like calm and singing and shit. And it's just like, girl, what are you doing? Start beating on the fucking door. And I feel like that movie, like, people were already having really uncharitable opinions about Disney princesses around this time because, you know, this was around the time where fucking girl boss feminism and BuzzFeed and shit was like shit on Barbie and stuff. But like people fucking forget that the first three Disney princesses, Snow White, Sleeping Beauty, and Cinderella, were literally teenage victims of abuse. What the fuck were they gonna do? Literally, in the 1950 Cinderella movie, in the narration that happens at the beginning of the story, the narrator literally says that Cinderella was abused. So what the fuck were they supposed to do? Like, I really hate it when people are like, "Oh my god, if I was in that situation, I would save myself." And I'm like, first of all, girl, you gotta hype yourself up to make a phone call. You are not about that action. But yeah, it's definitely looking pretty above emotion and acting like how some weren't allowed to cry ugly. It was definitely that. So that's when it started to go to crap. The new Jungle Book, it was okay. I liked watching it. I liked the voice acting and stuff, and it was sort of like a epic fantasy, but I felt like it was unnecessary. It was unnecessary. Alice Through the Looking Glass, unnecessary. I didn't ask for it. I didn't like it. I was bored. Like, I don't know. But like I can only critique what I've seen because I got so bored that I ended up leaving the rest of the movie, so I didn't care. Um I guess they were trying to make Alice in Wonderland into a feminine empowerment story, but it's like I don't know. I kind of dislike this take when it comes to female protagonists in fairy tales because we can we can argue that because they were largely written by men or written in patriarchal societies, that a lot of them didn't have agency and stuff in their situations. But like when it comes to fairy tales, rarely do you have agency regardless of what gender you are, because you are literally at the mercy of magical creatures who want to fuck with you. So I don't know. And like Alice in Wonderland was a damn drug trip that was written for Lewis Carroll's little daughter who was dealing with sickness and shit. Like I don't. This is the wrong thing to be doing that with. Beauty and the Beast. Emma Watson had no business playing as Belle. I'm disappointed with her dress. I think that Gaston was good. Like a lot of people shat on Gaston because it's just like, what happened to the very loud misogyny? I don't think that that version of Gaston, the live action version, is bad, because both of them show two very different kinds of misogyny. The hyper masculine, loud misogyny that was 90s Gaston is very important, because did you know that Beauty and the Beast and I think The Little Mermaid was written, the person who did the soundtrack for both of them was a gay man, and with a part of the storytelling and stuff was pretty much commentary, not just on how looks can deceive, but how people can use their conventionality as like a means to have a position of power and to get away with certain behaviors. Because Gaston, he's hot, like he is fine as hell, and I'm not afraid to say that. Not to mention this dude owns a business and he can provide, and those are like the expectations of men, and when you meet those expectations you could pretty much get away with anything. So him being overtly all macho and shit, that's in line with the commentary that was made in the original movie. But with the new movie, Gaston is somebody who fakes progressiveness in order to still maintain a position of power, because like he's one of the few people to stand up for Belle, but it's for personal gain, right? Because he's just like, oh, I don't mind that she could read because she could teach our children how to read, right? And it isn't until Belle refuses to be an asset of his that he starts to show that he really ain't shit. And it was like what we were talking about with some of these leftist streamers who revolve their content around debate and shit, how a lot of them want to parrot progressive ideals in order to get a position of influence and stuff. But once you actually challenge them and show that you're not willing to suck their dick over it, then they become a fucking problem. And that's the kind of misogyny that modern Gaston is. I think that is actually well written and people need to stop shit on it, because there are other things to shit on, such as Belle's stupid ass dress. I fucking hate Emma Watson. They just picked this bitch just because she played another famous girl who liked to read, and that's really it. Because she was just like, oh my god, I'm not gonna wear a corset and squish out my organs. How the hell are you playing? You're playing two very intelligent women and you don't even know how the hell a corset works. You would be wearing a set of stays. Literally, actually, I want to say, actually, yeah, he would be. So I don't know her work. Emma Watson, she played as Hermione in Harry Potter. She played as Belle in Beauty and the Beast. What else? Like, honestly, I'm more familiar with Emma Stone. Emma Stone is the more iconic of the Emmas. And even then, Cruella fucking sucked. We'll get to that in a minute. Christopher Robin, I haven't watched it. This kind of reminds me, though, at least the premise of like Christopher Robin growing up. And, oh, she was also in the Perks of Being a Wallflower. I got to watch that movie. That was one of those movies, those teen, TikTok, I will read at a concert kind of books that I wanted to read. The Christopher Robin movie. It sort of reminds me of the Peter Pan movie with Robin Williams. Or at least that's what it was giving. I just didn't bother to watch it because I didn't care. I didn't want to watch Dumbo because I'm just like, Yeah, this is definitely for people who are afraid to say that they like animation. Like, I don't care. Aladdin, Aladdin, I think that there were some good things in it. Um, is that what is? Is that what it is? Is that what is? So I just realized, did they fucking cut it? Where's Mulan? Okay, Mulan is in there. I'm like, where the hell is Mulan? They keep making ugly ass CG movies to make movies for people who look down on animation. That, I say that's one of the reasons. I think another reason is to renew IP, to do IP renewal. Um, number two, number three, people used to be very impressed by CGI, and because these movies have an existing fan base. Some people who really like the fan base and will just show up just to see the thing that they like, regardless of what form it's in. Because not everybody is an animation snob, right? Some people just like the yeah, I know, but it's just like some people just like the franchise and they're willing to engage with anything with the franchise because they're like, well, it was good last time, so maybe this will be good, even though we know the truth. Hey, Pickle Paga. Paga? How to pronounce it? Like, could you like write down a sound out in the parentheses? Welcome to the chat. We're talking about live action Disney remakes because I have magpie brain and I got distracted. But now I'm going through the ones that I've seen and the ones that I think are ass. Aladdin, it has some good things in it. I think that basically the hyper realism, yeah, because like literally look at the other ones that we were talking about. Disney used to have a decent track records with live action remakes and stuff. And another thing about these live action remakes is that they used to bring something different to the story. It wasn't just like a damn exact replication but with shitty animation, right? 101 Dalmatian had cultural critique on like the anti-fur movement at the time. Alice in Wonderland was a story with a grown-up Alice going back to Wonderland. Maleficent, oh yeah, I didn't talk about Maleficent. I think that Maleficent had a decent premise and stuff. I just hated the sexual assault allegory that was in there. Like, there's a scene where her friend betrays her and takes her wings in order to get a position of power, and it's like the parallels. And I just remember being like 13 and being like, why the fuck did they, because I knew what assault was, but I didn't, it was like my mind was almost there, but I'm like, something is wrong and I don't feel like this was necessary. Like, who asked? But no, they used to do original. They used to just use the original animation as like a template to make a new story or a continuation or something. They did it a second time. I didn't watch the second one, and I didn't want to because I didn't care. You're gonna be hearing that a lot throughout this list. I didn't watch it because I didn't care. That's so fucked up. But no, let's go back to Aladdin. Um, I do think that Will Smith's performance was awesome. I like that they gave Jafar a backstory of being poor and also a thief because I like it whenever protagonists have some parallels with antagonists and stuff and to show the differences in past that they can make. I don't like that they hired nothing but Indian actors to play as the characters because a lot of people said that Aladdin should have taken place in, like, say Pakistan or Saudi Arabia to be more culturally accurate, but that's also incorrect. It would be impossible for Disney specifically to do a culturally accurate Aladdin because they make bed with the fucking CCP, and this has nothing to do with Chinese audiences. It's the Chinese government itself, because I'll get into that when we get into Mulan, right? The original Aladdin story took place in China, and Aladdin was an Arabic immigrant who ended up getting with the Chinese princess. And given some of the Islamophobia that's going on and with the Uyghur genocide going on, they would not be able to do that. So they pretty much just made it into a Bollywood film. And I don't like that. I love Bollywood films. I just don't like that for Aladdin. And I also think that Jasmine's song Speechless was like put in the worst fucking time. I was just rolling my eyes. Like, bitch, we're in the middle of getting captured and all this other kind of shit. Like, why? Who fucking decided that? I was so pissed. The Lion King, they literally just copied and pasted the original script with some adjustments. And I hated that. Like, you know that one scene where Mufasa is talking to Scar after Scar missed Simba's christening? Literally copy and paste. And I would know because I watched the clip the day before I went to go see it. I was so pissed. Now, one thing that I did like was that what's the name of the lead hyena, the sister hyena, who was played by Whoopi Goldberg in the original and was played by Lupita in the new one. I like that she's in charge because spotted hyenas are matrilineal. So that was like a nice animal fact. I did like some of the songs from Black is King, which was Beyonce's complimentary album to it. It's a shame that it wasn't hyped up because now I feel like that's the reason why she don't want to be doing music videos anymore because nobody showed up for the music videos with Black is King. But I'm like, girl, you did all of that for a fucking Lion King bonus album. That's probably why nobody showed up. I don't know. I didn't care to watch the new Maleficent. I forget that the Lady in Trap movie exists. I think that it shouldn't exist. Fuck Mulan. Fuck the Mulan movie. Mulan movie was some bullshit. I hate the way that they handle Key. I hate that they couldn't pick a time period. Just pick one. You were pulling a Build-A-Bear with the fucking outfits and shit. And how they were talking all this good crap. We want to be more culturally accurate, and yet it's nothing but white people on there. And this doesn't say that white people can't participate in these things if you have like certification, but none of them did because they were playing Build-A-Bear with the cultures depicted. And how they watered down the relationship between Mulan and her father. How they made it where it's just like, yeah, women's empowerment, but know that you can only excel as a woman if you have a very special superpower. You can't like work hard for it or defy these norms regardless if you have the ability or not because it's necessary to do and all this other kind of shit. I didn't watch the Cruella movie, but it looked lame. Like, I feel like from what I saw, how they were trying to make Cruella into a sympathetic person, I think that's fucking dumb. I need people. I'm tired of sympathetic villains because a lot of people suck at them. Like, sympathetic and villain exist in tandem with each other, right? But what a lot of people want to do is have somebody be villainous without making them unlikable, so they just slap a sad backstory on them. And I dislike how they're trying to paint Cruella as a punk icon when isn't she a rich kid? Like, yeah, she was abandoned, but she like was trying to overthrow to get her inheritance and shit, and that's very not punk. Like, I don't care. Pinocchio, I didn't care. Peter Pan and Wendy, I forgot this exists. I didn't fucking care. Little Mermaid, I never cared about the Little Mermaid like that. And making her a black woman was not going to make me care anymore. It's very unfortunate what Halle Bailey went through, and I'm kind of upset that they didn't hire a drag queen to play as Ursula. But it's just like, I don't care. Mufasa definitely shouldn't have existed. Now, I will say that the brother song is good, and that's sort of why I ended up coming into this thing, because I was about to talk about Lin-Manuel Miranda. Lin-Manuel Miranda is a piece of shit because he's a lib. He is an insufferable lib, but he is a lib that can actually write music. And part of the reason why Disney is going to shit is because they don't have actual musical storytellers anymore. They'll hire writers and they'll hire songwriters, but they won't hire musical storytellers. Because let's talk about Wish and let's talk about the new Moana. how with Wish it was too fucking wordy in the soundtrack, and literally the only good song that's there is At All Cost. And it's probably because it was like a wedding song, and wedding songs tend to do good. And then with the new Moana, how the songwriter was just like, oh, y'all didn't like the soundtrack? Well, give it a month. The kids will be singing it over and over again. Like, you're writing music to be brainworms for children instead of actually good music that can tell you what the plot is about. Like, and this is what happens when, like, you have a monopoly on entertainment. You don't have to try anymore because you're literally too big to fail. Like, at some point, capitalism gets to a point where it's not about making money, it's about making sure that other people lose. Because if you can afford to lose that money, then you could do bullshit. Yeah. It's sort of like you know how when people talk about the acting in Twilight and stuff, but then when you see the actors in literally anything outside of Twilight, they do well. It's because good acting can't save shit writing. Let's see. We're gonna go back to drawing. Why would they do that? That requires them to care and to actually be held responsible for not caring, right? The thing is, people are going to show up to Disney regardless because it's Disney. And that's the other thing. Because they're so big and they have a monopoly of it, people are going to show up anyways because it's not like they have much of a choice, or at least it's not like they're willing to look for other choices because accessibility is another thing. Because Disney is so accessible, people are content with not having to go outside to find good shit. And this isn't to say that there isn't good shit with Disney still. I'm not gonna sit here and act like the workers aren't busting their asses with certain stuff because Moon Girl literally exists. Oh yeah, I just thought about Moon Girl, how the series finale is like next week or this weekend. I'm pissed. I want to live. We're losing so much stuff. Like, we need a breakthrough. We need a revolution. Where's that commission? I know it's in the folder. I just gotta find the folder. We need to be free from Disney. We need more variety in the we need more variety in the industry and stuff. This is why I'm like advocating for more indie stuff. And of course, indie, it's not exactly a decent replacement because it's not sustainable. Actually, I'll be back. I'm gonna take about a 5 minute break. I'm gonna take about a 5 minute break, and I'll get back to that. Cause since I want to start taking break, especially if I'm doing multiple pieces, even if I don't like complete a piece. If I'm doing multiple pieces, I want to take like short breaks in between. Mm-hmm. But I'll be back, guys. Give me like 5 minutes. Okay, I'm back. What's up? Okay, so I'm gonna read back. Doesn't even need to be that way because they have infinite money. They're just evil for the thrill of the game. Actually, overall, I need animation. Oh, who followed? I need to change the dimensions of my damn screen. I can't. I be not seeing stuff. Um, Zayda? It's like David, but with Zayd DVD. Why does that sound familiar? It looks like David with a Z. How to say it? Oh my God, Z! Zayd, how's it going? Zayd. Also, thank you for the follow. We've been talking about animation and how Disney can kiss my ass, Loki. Let's see. It needs like actual regulations, kind of like how they had to restructure Hollywood a bit after fixing labor laws. Apparently, there's like a couple of different strikes going on. I don't know if the Animation Guild is straight. No, it's not. They're still in negotiation. There has been a strike going on with There has been a strike going on with voice actors, which I wish would have made more. What's the word? There's been a strike going on with voice actors, which I wish would have made as much press as, you know, the physical actors, because they're a part of the same guild. We are drawing a commission because I am low-key expanding my horizons. It's not that I don't have experience drawing furries, it's just that I don't draw furries often. Like, the last time I drew a furry was when I drew Tigers for the Year of the Tiger. And you could tell that's been eons. It was SAG-AFTRA. It was because fucking Fran Dresser is a sellout. They're semi-hard to draw. Like, to me, the only part that's really hard to draw is just the muzzle, for me. Because with ears, I'm fine. It's just my bad habit when it comes to drawing furry ears is that I always want to bring the bottom of it all the way down instead of just at the top of the head. Because, I don't know, I like being a bit unconventional that way. So, let's see. From what I remember, because I haven't worked on this in about a week, it's like half and half. I do need to get some Draw Furries books, though. Fly day, China. So let's see. This is Frenzy. But no, what was I talking about before? How... But yeah, what was I talking about again? Fran Dresser, also known as Fran Fine in The Nanny. She was the one who went against the wishes of like most of the actors. She was just like, oh, we can allow AI as long as they ask for permission and people get paid for it and they get paid residuals. And it's just like, you shouldn't be allowing that at all. Because to me, it's not even just about the... It's not even... Because I get it. The number one issue with AI generation is consent, but it goes beyond that, right? That is a security issue. Because think about how many projects have gotten leaked, right? And just imagine if a leak of AI data got leaked. So that means other people would have access to the technology in order to replicate people's likeness. And we've already seen the nefarious shit that's been done with people's likeness. Because remember what happened with Taylor Swift and Megan Thee Stallion? Like, motherfuckers be gross. It's because she's a fucking sellout. You're not gonna get residual. Actually, you can. Like, that was literally, they managed to fix those contracts and stuff because that was the number one thing. Besides the AI thing, that was the number one thing that they were advocating for. Because part of the reason why people weren't getting residuals in streaming was because none of the template contracts for like TV shows and stuff didn't cover that. Like part of the reason why streaming got so big and why so many platforms turned to it was because it just wasn't covered in the paperwork. But now they made sure that it was. Now I have this bad habit where I like to draw everything in the picture just so I see where everything is, but I got to remind myself that if it doesn't show that I don't have to fucking draw. But no, they are going to get residuals because now they've made it that way. I don't know how it's going to look because I'm not a part of the guild and I don't know how the contracting works, right? But it was definitely, at least I know that A24 was able to keep doing promotions and stuff because they were literally the first studio. Yeah, it is unfortunate. They need to get rid of her. They need to hire a new president. They need to elect a new president. Because I'm like, girl, what are you doing? And then in addition to that, she was like, fundraising for fucking isn't real. On top of that. And I'm just like, Fran, we were rooting for you. I was fucking pissed. I don't understand. I grew up like everybody and their mom grew up watching The Nanny, but like The Nanny was one of my favorites because Fran was such a fashion icon, and I really liked the comedy. Because like I didn't grow up, and like it was being introduced to like a different culture of comedy because you know how every culture does comedy a bit differently, and Fran Dresser is an actual Jewish person and stuff because like whenever you hear about other Jewish comedians, at least female Jewish comedians, you think of like Arlene Sorkin who played as Harley Quinn. And you do see a bit of that in Harley Quinn when she isn't getting her ass beat in the animated series. Yeah, Fran was definitely somebody who carried herself with grace and she stood up for herself and she was always kind. And she always turned out. Definitely an icon, an inspiration. She was mother, especially to those three kids. And it's just a shame how far the heroes has fallen. Speaking of fallen heroes, does anybody follow WWE? I've been semi following it. Like some of my friends have been getting me back into it. And John Cena is about to retire from wrestling, but this motherfucker did a heel turn. And everybody is freaking out. Yeah, so for those who don't know, heel is the nickname. It's another way to say villain in the wrestling industry. So like John Cena turning heel. Wait, did he use bits today? I didn't even see the damn notification. Oh my god. I gotta tell them. Okay, I just DM'd them. Like, oh my god, I feel like a scatterbrain sometimes. I'm like, damn, I wanna live. The look in his eyes is dark. Yeah, cause like him turning heel. I'm trying to look up eyes. His eyes are square. Frenzies. They're kind of square. But yeah, John Cena turning heel is like the equivalent of like the old hero of like the old hero being corrupted. It's like if Gojo got mind controlled or some shit. And now the youth don't know what to do. Because this devastated everyone. It devastated me because I'm like, bruh, it's ambitious, but damn. And then browse. Like that was just damn. Put this above the muzzle. Ended up putting this on the wrong layer again. But no, as I was saying earlier, it's been like eons since I've drawn a furry, but I've always wanted to learn how to draw furries. Like more proficiently. Because I'm capable of it. I'm the kind of person where if I've done it once, I could do it again and do it better. Why am I treating that as if that's a special thing in art? That's like most artists. If you could do it once, then you could do it again and better. That's how practice works. But Ooh. But shout out John Cena. A lot of people talk about how a lot of people usually talk about Batista versus The Rock in terms of wrestler turned actors and how like their craft is either advanced or degraded. It's like you got The Rock who started doing more experimental stuff as an actor, and then as he got older he just started playing the same old stuff. And like how he literally has a clause in his damn um he has a clause in his fucking contract where he can't lose, which I think is the ultimate loser behavior. Like, that's so fucking stupid. And then you have Batista, who has played a range of roles from like the more sinister in what was it, Glass Onion, and comedic as Drax and stuff. He says that he wants to play. I remember one time when he said that he wanted to play in a romantic comedy, but he fears that he's like too beefy to do that. Now he's a lot thinner. I think because he's gotten older and he hasn't been training as intensively, which honestly, that's better for him. That's honestly better for him because, like, I don't understand. I need male actors to start putting their foot down when it comes to these exercise regimens and stuff because, like, y'all are dehydrating yourselves, and for what? Like, remember when male actors used to have just a little bit of pudge in them but still be able to look like action stars? Because that's what health was defined at the time, and now you got these dudes going without water for 2 days just so they can have a cut look. And it's like, what are you doing? But Batista did say something about these are all the clothes that I gotta do. Oh yeah, I do have to add some hair. Um, he said that he wanted to play in a rom com, but he's afraid that like he's been typecasted to more action or action comedy roles and stuff. I think the easiest way to do that is to have something where you know how in the Rock movies they always justify him being built the way that he is and certain stuff by saying, "Oh, he has military experience," or "Oh, he has special agent experience," and da 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 da. Just do the same thing with Batista. Like, do a kindergarten cop sort of thing, because kindergarten cop was a rom com starring Arnold Schwarzenegger, where he was going undercover as a kindergarten teacher to bust something. I can't remember what crime operation it was, but he ended up dating, I think, one of his coworkers at the school. So maybe consider something like that to give Batista more of a chance. Okay, Frenzy sketch is done. He never specified his partner's name. I just realized this. Let's see. She's a bit more tricky because this is a dome. So maybe, and she's also a type of fox, but she's more digital. Maybe. But bum 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 bum. Hmm. Oh, which animal did you end up picking for the love triangle? Oh, I forgot about that. I think I might pick. Uh, what kind of cat was it? Like maybe an orange tabby, or what was the other tabby that was suggested? Give me a minute. Hey, Pass. How's it going? Um, what was it? It was like some kind of tabby, because you know how tabbies are considered the dogs of the dogs of cats in a lot of ways. So that's like a happy medium between the two. What do you mean you sexual fell off? I don't know. I was looking up something and I saw on the Twitter feed somebody said that you said, for those who don't know, Usexual was the album that came out in January by FKA Twigs. And I was like really hyped for it because I just recently got into FKA Twigs music. And when Usexual came out, my brain chemistry changed. But right now, pass. We're doing art. Saw somebody said Bengal and that sounded fun. Yeah, I really like the the pattern on their bodies and stuff. But I don't know enough about Bengal cats to really say sure. But I do know about tabbies, especially like the gray kind. We love the sketch stage. I'm doing well, just eating some Chinese food, fried chicken with a chicken, fried rice with a chicken fillet, fried and some fries. Oh, nice. I don't know how to. Maybe I should look up faceplate expressions. This character is the more difficult of the two. Faceplate expressions. Or maybe TV head expression? Maybe. Hmm. But what to live? Okay, I think I know. Maybe. Maybe. We're gonna pray. Maybe. It's not cute. Been thinking about writing my thesis on international entertainment and how native countries that tell the stories that they created could potentially help a country's economy. Well, a part of it, but it could potentially help, like how Japan has with anime and games, or the U.S. and its movies throughout the years, etc. True, especially if like it can. It's a double-edged sword though, because like I was thinking of stuff like say tourism and whatnot, like garnering interest, but sometimes depending on the country, tourism is like a double-edged sword. You have to be like in ownership of those areas, but then but still, it would be something cool to explore. Actually, no, keep that there. Mouth. Yeah, that's another thing I was thinking about because my country does make money from tourism, but we mainly make money from our agricultural businesses, fishing businesses, and like, gotcha. You know, this is the way. This is the way. I just gotta make the smile longer, like bring it down a bit in the middle. Maybe. Hmm. Maybe with less squiggles. It's not really what makes it the most because tourism in my country can either come from the capital in Cusco. Gotcha. And then sometimes it's half and half when it comes to tourism because you sometimes don't want to depend on that because it's dependent on outside income, and sometimes that ends up getting prioritized over locals. But then with entertainment, like film and stuff, then it's just people buying, um, people buying the media, and that could be reinvested back into the country. Mm-hmm. drinking something. Have a fun lurk, Artemis. What am I doing? I'm gonna finish this sketch before I end stream. Because how long have we been at this? Yeah, it's been 2 hours. When I say I want to write a thesis about international entertainment, is because, weirdly enough, I was thinking about Japan's live action series, mainly their superhero shows, Tokusatsu, how any creator from around the world could create stories about a hero in their local area, and how those stories could help bring attention to their stories, but also make critiques about what is happening in their country. Yeah. And, like, superheroes has always been, at least. No, it's fine. Because I can read fast. Let's see. Close. But no, I get it. Because, like, the thing about superheroes in general, like, they usually start off as, you know, an advertisement for the country, a show of might and stuff, and it's usually stories of, like, extraordinary people struggling to do the right thing, but ultimately still doing the right thing because that's what it really means to be extraordinary and stuff. But because these characters also reflect the countries themselves, they could either range from being propaganda machines or being a means to, like, encourage the populace to look in the mirror, depending on who's writing them, especially if they have, like, a long standing run like the fucking US, because nobody wants to let go of anything. I hate the comics code so much. I understand that it was partially necessary to maintain the survival of comics because of what happened with the Hayes Code, but damn. Somebody just like, if you're so tired of cape shit, then why don't you read something different? Bitch, I do read something different, and that doesn't erase the fact that cape shit is still here and dominant. It is very hard to succeed when you're not cape shit. Hey, Zivia. I'm sitting up. I'm sitting up now. Thank you for the posture check. I believe superheroes have always been written as a way to look at the lenses of their people or their country's problem. Now Spider-Man is a broke kid who still does the right thing even if it's against his financial benefit. Okay. I'll hydrate and save campus. Still gotta fix that damn mix it up overlay. Thank you for the head pat. Oh, I appreciate it. Isn't my wife so awesome? Or how Superman is looked as an angel or godlike being by humans, but he's not any different than them because he was raised by human parents, even if he is an alien from Krypton. Yeah. Hey, Atlas. How was the rest of the stream earlier today? I had to check on some stuff with stream, only to find out that I still gotta fix shit. Isn't technology wonderful? There's a reason why I didn't stay in STEM. It's not like I can't do it. It's just I don't have the patience. I can help fix your text or fix thing and mix it up if you ever want to. Let's do that this weekend. This weekend, let's see, I got work. I gotta play Fortnite with my sister this Friday. And then Saturday, I got band practice. So I could do that after band practice. Okay, because that was my issue. Because I'm like, why? Because I think that when Mix It Up updated, the original settings that I had got adjusted. And I don't know how to fix it with the new, like, app format. It's got me fucked up. I put all the shit on one layer. You know what? It's fine. It's fine. It's not, but it will be. Okay, she's got neck fluff, and it's probably all the way around. I need to pick a different color. Damn it. I want to live. Okay. I know what to look up. Maybe. Give me a moment. I gotta think. I'm like searching my mental library and also the library on my phone because I just be saving shit just for specific occasions, and I know what I need. I just gotta look for it. Oh, speaking of drawing, you want to know something that I really want to draw? There's gonna be a Golden Kamuy Western zine. And like I've never participated in a zine because it was either I didn't have enough time, or I just wasn't chosen despite applying, which fine. I don't draw enough shit with backgrounds in it. That's probably the problem. And that like automatically disqualifies you because they're like, no, we want full on illustrations and da da da. I'm like, okay, shit. But I actually have some backgrounds in my pocket, so that helps. All right, because I know how to make it work for me. So I got an idea. I'm not gonna share the idea though. It's not that I don't trust y'all. It's just we don't know if there could be ops in the stream and they're also trying to apply and then they take my idea and I would beat somebody's ass. Just know that it has Pseudomy in it. And for those who don't know, Golden Kamuy is my current hyperfixation right now. I have a fucking problem. I'm writing Ogatha fanfic. Oh yeah. So Peach, you want to know what what I was like asking that question for, that very specific question for. So I've been writing Olga the fanfic. I've been writing Olga the fanfic because he's like my favorite character from the series. And one person liked my shit so much that they had to request. And I'm like, huh, you're a terrible person for asking for this, but I am intrigued, so I'll try. So Okata is this autistic person with serious problems, and he's a sniper. And he comes from a broken household, and he got a little brother with a different mom because his dad is a bitch. Because like his dad got his mom pregnant and left, and what the hell is that reference? Maybe if I look her up on Blue Sky. You know what I hate about Twitter is that when you try to look somebody up, you can't fucking find them. Oh, you're wearing my stuff. That would be so cute if you had a toggle where you put on my glasses and hat. You want me to add that to your PNG? Because, like, all I have to do is just send you the file of just a hat and glasses. Because they're in their own. I don't think we had the same prescription. Then just take the lenses out. Just get a replicate. Just get a replica of my frames. I've downloaded this person's art before and I still can't find her shit. I can't even remember how to type it. Wait, no, I found her. You know this one artist named Suki with like two Ks, but it's like XX Suki. I like the way that she draws fluff on like her chibi art. We like eating other people's art and internalizing it so we can make good shit. Actually, no. Let me draw the overall shape first. I also think that the head is too high. Fuck. The hat would be cute. I've always wanted a newsboy IRL. I wore a newsboy once when I dressed up as number 5 because that was like the simplest cosplay that I could wear. I love the newsboy cap. I'm gonna making the fur a bit spikier and curly. I'm supposed to send you a furry art book. Okay, I'll do it after stream. Hair. Yeah, I was talking about like getting physical books. I know when my taxes hit. When my taxes hit. Yeah, you said you have one or you get one. I know I downloaded some. I was about to write down how I was gonna make a common writer adjacent character and what the story would be in the comments, but I don't know if someone will take the idea. Like in here? If you're trying to do something fully fleshed out, it might be a bit long. You might want to do a thread and I'll like boost you. Just send it to me. Oh, yeah. Atlas would love that. Is he still here? Atlas, we found you a friend. Atlas loves Common Writer. Yeah, he is. Zivia, go get Atlas. Is he addicted to Monster Hunter right now? Okay. No, he's here. Okay. You know, I might do color. I like how I said pattern instead of partner. I'm gonna do a color test, right? Just to keep the group separated. You found a bestie. Actually, I'm not gonna do that. We just gonna stop here. I'll keep working on this. Probably tomorrow. But I like how far we've gotten. Yeah, all they need is like at least 3 more. And then they can form a robot. Oh my god, I'm so proud of myself. So for those who weren't here earlier, I was working on a reaction meme with Toledo. Honestly, should I tag him when I finish it? Or should I just. Actually, no, he has the art hashtag. So hopefully it'll do well. But I'm surprised nobody's done like a redraw of the reaction thing because it's just like, I don't know. It works for him. But I'm glad to see where we got. We continued a com. Wait, for who? For Toledo. Because you know how he keeps using that Caleb City video that was just like, oh my gosh, I can't believe this happened. Because you know, every time he like wakes up, we got to put this nigga to sleep. It's like one of those eldritch beings that if they wake up, then calamity comes. We got to put him to sleep to keep all of these graduations from happening. He's that fallen angel VTuber. He's mainly known. He started out sort of with doing VTuber news, or at least that's sort of what made him popular. But now he just does like videos educating people about VTuber culture. But that's pretty much it. So I'm gonna save this, and I'm gonna save this, and then we're gonna find somebody to raid. Who am I following list is streaming right now? Okay, we're gonna go Bully Roo. So before y'all go, let's go raid them. But thank you for everybody who came. This is nice streaming again and whatnot and talking smack. I'm gonna try to show up on Tuesday. Emphasis on try. But in the meantime, y'all have a good evening. Stay above the water. But stay here before we go raid. If I can spell her name right. If I can spell their name right. Oh my god. Okay. Give it like 4 seconds. Okay, guys, now we're gonna raid. Stay above the water.